Welcome everyone to season 8, episode 2 of the Focus TV. We're joined as always by Octavia Wyatt, Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Turpin Jr. Now, we're gonna get straight to it. The NFC East, Octavius, y'all had some more interdivisional battles or whatnot this week, so the floor is yours.
Yes, we did. We did. I'm going to do a little switch up just because of the interdivisional game, and one of the teams this week was on a bye. That team being the New York Giants. They were on a bye, so congratulations to them. They did not lose this week, but somebody did lose. Daniel Jones lost his starting position. It's been talked about ever since the end of the last game. It was pretty much thought of that he has played his last snap as a New York Giant. He is officially the third string quarterback. I always want to say Danny DeVito. Tommy DeVito will be the starter, and Drew Lock will back him up, and Daniel Jones will be the third string quarterback. For those who don't know, that he does have an injury clause in his contract, so if he was to get injured in these last couple of games, knowing that they're probably going to move on from him, he would still be paid out his remainder of his contract. So it's a cautionary thing for the team. I would assume that Joe Shane and Brian Daboll are also trying to save their job at some point during this as well, as we see what's going on in the other New York team. They're cleaning house when it comes to the upper management of the franchise. So I'm sure that they see that. They're like, we got a chance to try to kind of hopefully do something. I think they're already the only team that's mathematically out of the playoffs. And maybe a few more, but I know that they were one of those. So it's just, it's a bad year again for the New York Giants at this point, but they will play this week coming up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, like I said, should get back Mike Evans this week as well. So it still doesn't get any easier, but at this point, there's no game easy that's going to be for the New York Giants. Whoever they play, regardless of whatever their record is, it's going to be tough, as we saw 2 weeks ago when they played against the Carolina Panthers. Next, I'm going to skip over to our Dallas Cowboys just because they were the only other team that did not play each other this week. The Dallas Cowboys played against the Houston Texans last night. They lost to the Texans 34-10. Cooper Rush was 32 of 55, 354 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 5 sacks, 2 carries for 2 yards. Rico Dowdle had 10 carries for 28 yards, 2 receptions for 6 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 8 receptions for 93 yards, 1 carry for 13 yards. And Kayvon Turpin had 3 receptions for 86 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, of course, everybody's making the joke. I think it was the first time they opened the roof in like however many years, and the ceiling started falling, and people were saying the bottom's already falling. So now the ceiling's falling. So what else can you ask for outside there in Dallas? It's just bad. Unfortunately, the injury to Dak Prescott has heightened how bad they've been playing. The one thing I can say is I don't think they've given up. I think they tried to play as hard as they possibly could during this. You can see Mike McCarthy is doing anything that he can possibly think of to get a spark for them. They had a 4th down try that failed. They had a fake punt kick that failed. For the love of God, Brandon Aubrey actually missed a field goal. Like, it's crazy. Greg said I think he did make a 53-yarder in the second quarter, which extended his streak to 33 straight made field goals at home. But later in that quarter, his 40-yard attempt hit the upright, keeping the score 17-10. And I mean, like I said, they were kind of hanging in a little bit in the beginning. We know that the Texans have been a little bit spotty, but they did get Nico Collins back. And I mean, Joe Mixon had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And as far as they ended up getting behind, that's why you see Cooper Rush throwing for 55 passes, which is crazy for Cooper Rush at this point. It's just altogether it's just not going to go well for them. And then on top of that, you add insult to injury. The Cowboys were penalized 9 times for 66 yards. I mean, when you're already having a bad game, the penalties are not going to make it any better. Like I said, I won't harp on this too long. You know, they just ready for next year at this point. Again, I don't think they're mathematically out of anything. Their next game coming up will be against the Commanders on Sunday. Fun fact: back when the schedule was released, and before Father's Day, I bought my dad and my brother tickets to said game here because it will be at Northwest Stadium. I thought I was being a great daughter and a great sister by buying them Father's Day gifts to go see their favorite team. I don't even know if they're going to want to go anymore at this point. But as I say every week when we have these interdivision games, crazier things have happened. I know it seems very, very bleak and it seems very, very unlikely, but crazier things have happened. We know what happens within this division, especially because they will be playing against a team who was coming off of 2 losses. The Washington Commanders played against the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night. Seems so long ago. And I get mad because I feel like as time goes on, like, we don't really talk about the Thursday games over the weekend and stuff. So I ain't really heard too much noise, but it is what it is. The Washington Commanders lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 26-18 on the Commanders side. Jaden Daniels was 22 of 32, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3 sacks. 7 carries for 18 yards. Brian Robinson Jr. had 16 carries for 63 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 reception for 9 yards. Austin Eckler had 2 carries for 7 yards and 8 receptions for 89 yards. And Zach Ertz had 6 receptions, 47 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the Philadelphia Eagles side, Jalen Hurts was 18 of 28, 222 yards. No passing touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks, 10 carries for 39 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 receptions for 52 yards. And A.J. Brown had 5 receptions for 65 yards. I would probably say, and I feel like I said it last week about Jaden Daniels, that was probably his worst game to date. And I think he, unfortunately for Washington Commanders fans, followed it up with another one. It was not just him, of course, but he didn't play that well. He struggled, like I said, over these last 2 games against the 2 teams out of Pennsylvania. He was unable to get the running game pretty much going. As I said, I think as a whole, they rushed for 93 yards between 4 players. So really couldn't get it started too much. Brian Robinson did have a good run early in the quarter, but I would like to say they got the ball at the 40-yard line, so it wasn't that far to get to the end zone, but he did what he needed to do in that instance. And then keeping Jaden Daniels with 7 carries for 18 yards, as we know he's also been involved in the running game. The Philadelphia Eagles defense played him well, but he was inaccurate a little bit, and I mean, none of his wide receivers could get open. I think he didn't have a pass to the wide receivers until the 3rd quarter. This Terry McLaurin that I've been hearing all about, of course, I'm this is the Eagles fan in me, so I'm not being biased right now. You know, this Terry McLaurin that we heard was supposed to be running all over the Philadelphia Eagles was ghost. He had 1 reception for 10 yards on 2 targets. Majority of that was against Quinyon Mitchell, who arguably needs to be in the defensive rookie player of the year conversation between him and Jared Verse out of the LA Rams, who they will see next week. But yeah, like I said, the wide receivers couldn't get involved. McLaurin wasn't targeted until the end of the 3rd quarter. Only the 2nd time in his 6-year career that he did not have a first half target. Finished with 1 catch, 10 yards. The receivers as a whole, they combined for 4 catches and 28 yards overall. Again, the score was 28-18. Zach Ertz did get a late touchdown at the end of the game, so take that as you may, but it was probably one of their worst games of the year. You know, it's hard to come off of in a sense, a heartbreak game against the Steelers the week before, just like they did to the Bears a couple weeks earlier. So it's tough for them. Their defense did play well early on in the first half. They definitely held the Eagles out of the red zone. The Eagles had to settle for 3 field goal attempts. We'll get to that, of course. But a lot of those drives didn't end in points for them. The Eagles were held to 23 yards on 13 plays. But again, most notable, what's been really running a little bit rampant in the league this year is these 4th down calls and these coaches' decisions in pivotal points of the game. If you talk to pretty much any Commanders fan, they will say that they believe the game was lost when the score was 12-10 and the Philadelphia Eagles were winning. And instead of going for the field goal, the Commanders chose to take the fourth down and they turned it over on downs. Dan Quinn came out and said, and it can be backed up with evidence, with stats. They're a pretty good fourth down team. They mostly, hit on their fourth down plays. Unfortunate for them, they weren't able to. And from there, Saquon Barkley just took over in the fourth quarter. But again, like I said, their defense was pretty good in the first half. Mike Sarah still, because again, just like a lot of people were talking about Terry McLaurin running all over people, a lot of people were concerned about the defensive backs in the secondary for the Washington Commanders as well. When you had Sarah still, when you had St. Juice, again, Emmanuel Forbes isn't even playing. But Mike Sarah still held his own, keeping A.J. Brown, if you want to call it keeping it, but to a moderate 5 catches, 65 yards. As a whole, between the wide receivers, him and Devontae Smith, they only recorded 95 yards of offense. So, I mean, they started off well. It just seems like they kind of tired out in the second half, which is when the Philadelphia Eagles pretty much took over. On the Philadelphia Eagles side, it's really nice to see that they're continuously balanced on the run to pass ratio. The Eagles ran for 228 yards and Hurts passed for 221 yards. It's hard to beat stuff like that. I feel like they were probably a little bit more pass happy in the first half, but in the fourth quarter they allowed Saquon Barkley to do what he's been doing all year, and that's just running away with things. I mean, in the fourth quarter, Philadelphia outscored Washington 20-8. With a touchdown drive of 11 plays for 76 yards, then 5 plays for 74 yards, and then 2 plays for 46 yards. And the defense came up with a stop on downs with the Blankenship interception. The defense is playing ridiculous. A lot of people are back and forth on how good they're playing because, they said they played out against a lot of sub 500 teams. But just some notables on the defensive side. Nolan Smith had 3.5 sacks over his last 6 games, including this one. Zach Bond was actually named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week this past week, probably, and I'm pretty sure the first time ever in his entire career. He had 15 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. He led the team in total tackles and solo tackles. Washington only managed 264 total net yards, 70 of them being on the final scoring drive when the score was 26-10. Jalen Carter is playing crazy. He had 7 total tackles, 4 of which were solo. Which is kind of a lot for a defensive lineman. Zach Bond, like I just spoke about, 14 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass defended on third down. Linebacker Nakobe Dean and Blankenship both had 10 total tackles. And again, they were able to rush the quarterback effectively and not give him any running lanes. Granted, they only sacked him 3 times, but he was hurried. He was pressured throughout that entire game. So their defense is playing well. And then, of course, you can't not talk about the defense and not talk about rookie cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, who allowed 0 receptions on 1 target and 32 coverage snaps and the nearest defender in the coverage per NFL Next Gen Stats. Mitchell, who was often against Terry McLaurin, is allowing 0.9 yards per coverage snap this season, the 6th best of 44 cornerbacks with at least 200 coverage snaps in 2024. So he's playing remarkably, and this is what we've always been wanting, somebody on the back end that's going to be a shutdown corner. And, I mean, granted, it's still early. He's still a rookie. He's 11 games, 10 games into the season, whatever you want to call it, since they had a bye. But he's playing very, very well. And then, of course, I think I said something during the games on Sunday. It seems like these kickers got a pact that they're just like, we all just want to fuck up and miss a field goal every now and then just to kind of keep it spicy. Jake Elliott, who's normally very reliable, had a horrible night. He missed a field goal attempt from 44 and 51 yards in the first half. He followed that up with a missed extra point early in the fourth quarter after the Eagles went ahead. He entered the game tied for the second highest field goal percentage, 90.9% since 2021 among NFL kickers with 80-plus attempts, but now has missed 5 field goals this season. I saw some people say, oh, fire the kicker. The kicker's got to go. Pump your brakes. He is a normally reliable kicker. As I said, I've never seen Justin Tucker miss as many field goals as he's missed this year. We had back-to-back weeks of field goals being blocked in order to win a game. I don't know what's going on with the kicking. It started off really, really well. They were making 60-yarders like it was nothing early on in the season. Seems to die off a little bit. But all in all, this was a game the Philadelphia Eagles had to win. They needed to win, especially because of the schedule they have coming up. They do have some formidable opponents left coming up. They will play Sunday night, and you guys know how much I hate primetime games. I hate them so very much. But they will play Sunday night against the Los Angeles Rams. They'll follow that up against the Baltimore Ravens. They still have the Steelers to go as well. And then, of course, they'll have another meeting with the Washington Commanders. So that was a game they needed to get. That was a game they needed to win, and they did. Like I said, they'll play them on Sunday. The Washington Commanders will play the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday as well at 1 o'clock at Northwest Stadium. So that should be interesting as well. But yeah, it was a crazy week. The Philadelphia Eagles are now in sole position of first place with a 1.5 game lead. But the Washington Commanders, they're still lurking around. They're young enough to kind of just shake off what has been happening for them the last 2 weeks. They have a very winnable game this week. And I'm sure Dan Quinn is going to be fired up for this game as well. It's crazy. They just played their last two coordinators. I just thought about that with Kellen Moore and now Dan Quinn next week, the Cowboys, that is. So it's going to be very interesting, and we'll see what happens.
From the NFC East to the association, right? The Wizards.
The Wizards, they're in the middle of a 9-game losing streak. 8 of the 9 losses have been by double digits, so you can already tell what their fatal flaw is: defense or lack thereof, and rebounding. Those has been the telltale in each of these last 9 games. They haven't been able to stop anybody, and they haven't been able to rebound the basketball. And turnovers as well is plaguing them. Specifically, they haven't been able to keep teams off the offensive glass, which is leading to second chance opportunities. And, it's not allowing them to finish off defensive possessions and get out on a break. In the first few games when they were reasonably competitive, they were getting stops and they were getting easy baskets, which was fueling their offense and allowing them to be able to set up on defense. But yeah, it's just fallen off a cliff lately. Their offensive continuity just hasn't been there. It's a young team. They got a lot of young players playing a lot of minutes, but at some point you got to look like a cohesive professional basketball team, even if the talent isn't quite there. It can't look like this. Last night, you seen highlights from the Knicks. A lot of times they were late to rotations. Guys were just looking confused and out of place, which led to a barrage of threes. And from that first quarter on, the Knicks just got out the gates hot and never looked back. And yeah, with the Wizards not being able to get stops, they weren't able to stop the bleeding. So yeah, man, they got to figure that out. It's not like they're incapable. We've seen them do it this season, so they got to figure out what was working and get back to that. And yeah, because it's getting bad and doesn't get any easier. They play the Celtics on Friday. We see what type of time they're on. So yeah, you cannot defend against them if you want. It'll get ugly real quick. So hopefully next Tuesday I'll have better news. Friday for Wizards Outlook. Pray for me, Wilson and Cardell. That could be a easy show. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but but yeah, we'll check in with you guys and see how they progress through the season.
Pray for the easy show is crazy, but I can't lie. It's where I was midway through the third quarter last game. So, going to college to the college segment. Cardell, we kick things off here. What you got for us?
Yeah, got a few standouts, man, that people should start paying attention to because it's becoming very consistent. I'm gonna start on, Pittsburgh. Had a chance to see them this weekend. Up at Pittsburgh, they're dangerous. It's more than just Jalen Lowe, who's on draft boards and whatnot. They got a lot more going on. And one of the bright spots on the team is senior guard Ish Leggett, former St. John standout, PG County native. Started his career at Rhode Island, transferred to Pitt a couple years ago, and he's putting it all together this season. He finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 and 9 shooting from the field, 2 of 4 from deep, and the Panthers 93-48 win over VMI on Monday night. Pitt is 5-0, and on the season, Leggett is averaging 17.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.4 assists on 64% shooting from the field and 47% shooting from deep, all career highs thus far, man. It's the saying in college, when you play college ball your senior year, everything just lines up. It's like your prime year in college where your maturity, your work ethic, and your talent just all come together, kind of like in the NBA when you're late 20s, early 30s, you put it all together. That's what you're seeing right now, man. And it's a sight to behold, man. He's already been a rugged, hard-nosed defender, high-motor kid, but with his offensive efficiency and the way he's just putting it all together in every aspect, man, it's a hell of a bright spot for Pittsburgh, especially early in the season. Next up is named a Baltimore kid, Ace Baldwin. Finished with 19 points, 10 assists, and 3 steals in an 86-64 win over Virginia Tech. He's at Penn State, started his career at VCU. When the head coach at VCU Rose went to Penn State, he rolled with him. It's pretty much business as usual, man. He's always been known as a top-level assist man and defender, but now, he's putting the points on the board to go along with it, man. And the blowout ACC program, especially one like Virginia Tech that hangs his hat on defense like that, just speaks volumes that Penn State, which is 4-0, they're dangerous, and you got to keep an eye on them. And last but not least, Darren Buchanan Jr., he continued his strong start to the season for GW, posting 20.6 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals, and 8-13 from the field in the 84-64 win over NJIT Monday night. GW improved to 4-0. On the season, Buchanan is averaging 17.3 points, 9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 2.3 steals a game on 55% shooting from the field.
All right, on to the women's side of things. Maryland hosted Towson this past Sunday. 6 players scored a double figures for Maryland as they beat Towson 98-63. The Tigers were led by India Johnston's 22 points. She got left open a couple times and started to knock that thing down from 3. She shot 5 of 10 from deep. Towson also got 13 points from Amanat Diakite and Deja Bristol. Did a little bit of damage inside with 9 points, 5 rebounds. Kayleen Smichael finished with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal for Maryland. Christina Dulce had 13 points and 10 boards and just 1 block, even though she altered countless others. Sarah Biasu kind of had the first game kind of where she looked like she was comfortable walking that fine line of playmaking and scoring, 13 points, 4 assists. Sailor Poffenberger with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. All of her points came from deep. Ali Kubek added 11 points and 5 rebounds. Shout out to her for also passing she eclipsed the 1,000 point mark of her career. Then, Cheyenne Sellers with the double-double of 10 points, 10 assists, 3 steals. And for all, coaches out there, 0 turnovers, which I'm sure all coaches love to hear from your point guard. National champ, former Terp Laura Harper is now the head coach of Towson. And she called, so it was definitely homecoming of sorts for her. Of many of the comments that she had post-game, one about Maryland, she called this team a Final Four team. Obviously, beginning of the year, we'll see what this looks like, how prophetic she ends up being later in the year. But for more of this breakdown, just get over to our Roku channel, check the college tab for not only Terps breakdown, Terps recaps, but GW recaps as well. Up next, Maryland plays St. Francis out of Pennsylvania on Sunday at the Xfinity Center. Cardo, you want to head to take it or leave it or rapid fire first?
Yeah, take it or leave it. Got heavy dose on both. Need answers from you guys. Man, we're gonna start in Philly on the NBA side. Reports are Philly had a team meeting after losing to the Heat on Monday night, and Tyrese Maxey had a message for Joel Embiid. It's no secret the Sixers are struggling. They have a 2-11 record currently. The low point so far was Monday night's 106-89 loss to Miami Heat, in which the whole team just looked lifeless. They had an immediate team meeting afterward. Tuesday, ESPN Charbonnier revealed the details of the meeting and the confrontation between the 76ers' two biggest stars. Charbonnier reports Tyrese Maxey missed Monday's game due to a hamstring strain, called out Joel Embiid's habit of not being on time for, everything. Quote, Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the 22-23 league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room from other players to the coaching staff. Sources briefed on the meeting. So ESPN, Embiid accepted the messages sent in the meeting, most sources said, but he stated that he is sometimes confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute on the court. Charbonnier additionally noted that the 76ers teammates have close friendships and history of holding each other accountable. Take it or leave it that Philly won't turn this thing around. Start with you, Octavia.
I'm going to take that they're not going to turn it around. Like, what is this nonsense? This is the same person who in the beginning of the season says, one, I'm not playing back-to-backs. He pushed a reporter. He got suspended. I think he missed the game because he was sick. Philadelphia, I've done so much for you guys. Like, what are we talking about? Well, you can't even show up to team activities on time at your big age, because here you are, you have somebody, and I mean, granted, I know he's not a rook anymore, but that was like his rook, that can sit there and tell you, like, bro, you not on time for nothing. Not just one thing, nothing. You're never on time. But yet and still, you claim to have this dedication and you claim to have this, thing where you feel like you are the end all be all. And this is some people's choice for the best center in the league. I still don't know why. It's just ridiculous. Granted, I know I said take it that they won't turn it around. Their only chance is the fact that the East is a little bit less worrisome than if you were in the West. But I mean, they have, I think they said that the worst record in the league at this point. And who knows what Embiid is going to do. I haven't watched many of their games because it's been hard to watch, but the things I've heard is where he can't even get up and down the court. He doesn't look like he's moving well. I think they said that this was the first game that he played. The last game he played in was the first game, and since his rookie year, where he hasn't gone to the free throw line at all. It's just a bad look, and here we are 15, 16 games into the season, and we're already having an all hands on deck meeting about effort and about showing up on time. I'm sure it was more about I'm sure they had more to talk about in the meeting, but to come out of it with your 200 million plus star not being able to show up to things on time and not even playing. So it's not like you got to get there and get warmed up and you forget to do. You're not even playing, bro. You just got to come on time and sit on the sideline and clap and cheer your teammates on. And then to say, I don't know what we're doing as a whole. How do you not know what you're doing as a whole? Like, if anybody should know, it should be you, because you should be sitting next to the coaches because you're not playing. So it's just a mess. I don't know how much longer they're going to trust this process, but the process should be deleted.
All right. Ray, let loose.
Yeah, they're done. Mainly because, as Octavia pointed out, this is your franchise guy that needs to be reminded to show up on time and be professional. And I applaud Maxey for speaking up, but yeah, they're gonna go as Embiid goes, and the way he's going now, doesn't bode well for them. Then you got your other max player crying about getting double teamed. So yeah, they not in a good spot, man. But as far as Embiid goes, this dude, man, he's been whining about not getting proper recognition and all that other stuff. Like, show up on time and be in shape. How about that? But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough season for them. And I think he's about to get a taste of Philly sports fans because it's always been a buffer. I don't think it's there anymore. But yeah, and then some other comments from that story is that the players said they wanted to be coached harder. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like that was refreshing that players expressed the want and desire to be coached harder, but why should that exist on any level, let alone the NBA? Like, yeah, it's a mess up there, man. And they management need to look at moving some stuff around real quick because they got a lot of money on the books and they got the same record as the Wizards.
Wilson.
Hey, man, they got the same record as the Wizards, but the Wizards are above them in the standings, and the Wizards are on a 9-game losing streak. Ejecto Cito. Immediately. Just do it. Because, like, right now, this city's not going to say anything if you do it. You're not going to hear a peep. You can't, like, was it last week or the week before? We don't hear talking about one of his last comments was everything I did for you guys. And you got Maxey, and shout out to Maxey. Maxey came in and said, whatever, like the little unspoken thing in that building is about Embiid. Maxey came in and read off all the quiet parts out loud. Like, you're not supposed to, like, one, he told the truth, but two, you're not supposed to do it, apparently, because, bro, that's disgusting. Dude's making, what, $64 million this year? Nah, dude. No. There's however many teams. Find somebody who's down bad enough to do it. Just do it. You're already 2-11. And then as soon as it's time, as soon as you're able to, get Mr. I don't want to be double team out of here too. Like, this is nonsense, man. Like, we all thought it was a joke when, that move was made, but I'm gonna let that go because we're talking about this one. But that's just crazy. And pro sports, whoever the top dog is or whatever per team, per franchise, what have you, like, it affects so much. This is nonsense. And for Maxey, at his not very old age, to say something, that's sad. It's refreshing, but it's sad. Yeah, man. Ejecto Cito, everything.
I mean, this is what happens when you overpay entitled athletes. We haven't really done nothing. I mean, you proved you could play in the NBA at a high level. Isn't that what your job is? The hard part is winning. That's what separates you as a player. And winning consistently, having your team in position to constantly win. That's the standard. That's what's totally different. Maxey, 24. The meeting was called by Kyle Lowry, 38. Kyle Lowry's our age. To quote a friend of mine who's coaching Division I ball, when his players got to crying too much, he said, y'all acting like bees, but y'all from the LeBron era. I'm from the Jordan era. Kyle Lowry is from our era. It's only so much BS other cats from when we grew up were going to allow you to get away with before we check you. So after that loss, and I know it's stung for Kyle Lowry because he was just with the Heat prior. Yo, we got to call a meeting, bro. We 2-11. We too damn talented. He called the meeting. Coaches, everybody, just players and all that. And then one of the youngest players on the team, and I have no problem saying the best, Tyrese Maxey, because he's dependable. He's going to be there every game. I mean, this is the first time he really got hurt, but damn, he had a hell of a load to carry to start the season. Probably the last couple seasons. Let's keep it real. he called out the quote unquote franchise player for his BS. And it's been many reports over the years about Embiid not being held accountable. Like it was one that just recently, well, from years ago, where Brett Brown was the coach, and the whole coaching staff called a meeting to inform Brett Brown that, you need to check Embiid. He's disrespecting the entire coaching staff. One of the assistants is the head coach for St. Joe's now, Lane. Okay. And he said, and then Brett Brown was like, why didn't any of y'all tell me? Bro, we've been telling you for a minute. You just ain't listening. He's like, wow, he's disrespecting people. He actually shocked. That's what the report said. And then nothing was done. So when you keep allowing, it's like being in school. You got class. We all been in class. We had just that one asshole student. He's just an asshole. He can't help himself. And you keep letting it, ignoring him. You keep ignoring it. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's kind of what you're dealing with right here, man. He's beyond a habitual line stepper. It is like, no, I don't see how people can deal with it, man. But I get it because it's a lot of people higher up that's tied, their jobs are tied to him performing and doing what he's supposed to do. And if they let him go and they say they blow this whole thing up, what you think the owner gonna be saying? All y'all got to go. All y'all, dog. All y'all. This is now we basically got to start over. Y'all been telling me trust the process for like 10 damn years, man. Literally 10 damn years, dog. And it's just been teases here and there. Nah, man. It's just one thing I think a lot of these athletes forget is the first part of your job description is professional. You have to be professional. Why do you have to be told to be in shape? Why do you have to be told to be on time? And you see the difference between what the organization, how it currently is in Philly, and winning organizations. I just heard a podcast earlier. Derek Anderson say when he came from the Clippers, man, he can arrive at practice start at 10 a.m. He can come in and building at 9:59. And won't nobody say a word. He get to San Antonio, practice start at 10 a.m. Hey, yo, you got to be here about 9:45. What? Why? Oh, that's when we start practicing. But he said 10 a.m. Yeah, we do the stretching and stuff, and then 10 a.m. we're actually on the court practicing. We ain't wasting no time. But that's what winning organizations do. They hold you accountable. Then he went on and said, Pop pulled him to the side. It was like, yo, where you want the ball? And he said, man, I'm an ISO player. It don't matter. You can just give me the ball wherever. He said, come here. Walked him to the block. He said, Tim Duncan is going to be a Hall of Fame player from this spot. So I need you to figure out where you need the ball based on how Tim Duncan needed to deliver it. I don't think you understood me. Oh, yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. I'll be right in front of Tim on the block, outside the elbow. I'll be right there, baby. Kick it out for the double. I'm good. I got you, baby. He understood. It got right to the point. That's Pop. And this is early Tim Duncan. This is 99, 2000s, early 2000 Tim Duncan. When he was still real young. So that lets you know what it is. But that's how good organizations are ran. No. We're not tolerating none of that. We're not tolerating that. Like, do you think Embiid would have been getting away with this in Miami?
That boy would be at least 80 pounds slimmer. He would have never got this heavy.
Well, he would have left when his contract is up. He'd have rolled out like, I can't take this no more. That's like, so you on? Come on, man. It just is what it is, man. You can't win like this, and that's why the record is what it is, and the state of the franchise is in shambles and all that. And even the other co-star who ain't getting the heat because he just got there, you're looking foolish too, because you on the same type of time. Meanwhile, the Clippers are still holding it together without you. They ain't even saying that. They ain't even acknowledging you. And you supposed to be this. You coming to Philly wearing Kobe Bryant's old jersey number and stuff like that in tribute to him, and ain't wearing none of the things, the traits that made Kobe what he was at all. So it's like this era is just funny, man. It is what it is, and this is a perfect example of what it is. We're gonna move on to the next question on the NFL side. The Jets, man, fired general manager Joe Douglas after a 3-8 start to the season. Douglas was 30-64 in New York's lead front office executive. Douglas' contract was reportedly set to expire after the season. The firing of Douglas comes just over a month after the team moved on from head coach Robert Saleh, who they hired in 2021. The big move ahead of 2023, traded for quarterback Aaron Rodgers, has not panned out as planned, as the team is just 10-18 since the start of last season. Also, speaking of Rodgers, after the team fired general manager Joe Douglas on Tuesday, ESPN Rich Cimini reported that a source believed it's highly unlikely Jets owner Woody Johnson will bring back Rodgers in 2025. The Jets have dropped 7 of their past 8 games in what was supposed to be a win-now season under Rodgers, whose future is cloudy. Rosemini, one source said he'd be shocked if Johnson brings Rodgers back in 2025. The inside added that Rodgers' $23.5 million cap charge in 2025 is not guaranteed. This, of course, makes New York's decision easier, at least financially. The Jets' offense has been abysmal in 2024, ranking 26 in points per game, 18.5, and yards per game, 294.4. As for Rodgers himself, he's thrown 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, with a passer rating of 88.9, on pace to be his worst as a full-time starter. Ray, take it or leave it, man. Just blow it up or still try to ride it out with Rodgers next year.
Oh, blow it up. Like, I don't waste no time. I mean, he shouldn't have been in the first place, but can't take it back now. But it's never too soon to swiftly correct a mistake. You laid out the results since he's been there. Yeah, it's no need to continue with this thing. I wish a lot of franchises would cut their losses sooner. Like, why even continue down this road? Is the likelihood of it turning around is slim to none. This dude is clearly not what he was. Just the sooner you change course, the sooner you have a chance of getting it right. Go ahead and cut your losses and start trying to rebuild this thing.
Wilson.
Hey man, this is on them. They should have never went and got that dude. This is y'all. All of this was avoidable. You were 7-10 the last 2 years, pretty much without a quarterback. You did all this stuff with this dude. You're 3-8. All this nonsense, you went to go get all his friends that were horrible at their jobs. All this stuff you did to acquiesce this dude. And your record's worse than what it was when you fired the coach who had one of the best defenses in the league with no quarterback. All y'all had to do was, I don't know, Joe Douglas, keep doing your job and due diligence to find a quarterback. Y'all try to easy button it with a dude who, the Packers let this man go and never look back. They had no inkling of looking back. Like, whether Jordan Love was going to work out or not, they knew who it wasn't going to be. And shout out to Matt LaFleur, because he was one of those coaches who was like, look, dude, you want to know what? I'm the Packers head coach, and we're going to run the system that I want to run. And, it is what it is. And shout out to the Packers organization for not kicking LaFleur out for the sake of this guy. Now look at the Jets. You lost a damn good coach for nothing. Nobody knows where he's going to end up in the future. Again, this is things that you're building. So not only this, think about what this does to the rest of your roster now. Because now dudes who you pay money to, like Quentin Williams and some of the other folks on that defense that you ruined because of this dude, you're pretty much, it's going to be cool that you can get out of the contract with him. You're going to have to reset everything, which means you're going to be selling low on quality defensive players. Dude, y'all somehow broke Sauce Gardner, which everyone's let go to this. And I'm trying my best not to be petty, because when that draft came around, I felt like the dude who was in Denver was that dude CB1 regardless. And it shouldn't have been, people like nicknames and whatnot. But again, Salah had Sauce looking like one of the better corners in the league. He's broken. Like, y'all broke a first-round pick. Like, what did y'all do? Someone's going to end up getting the freaking running back y'all have, and he's going to go back to being damn good. Like, you're going to ship parts of your team up, like spare parts off. They're going to all go to contenders. You're going to look even dumber. All because you were like, we're going to acquiesce the 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers? Like, even when you say it out loud, it just makes no sense. Everything about this was wrong. And then you just kept You kept like buying into the nonsense more and more and more. And now it's like, yeah, you can say, oh, we're not going to redo his contract. Damage is done, dude. Like, I think irreparable damage has been done. Like, you were at a place where at least it was like, hey, our team's good. We got one of the better rosters. We just got to find a quarterback. Which I know it's easier said than done, but I'm sure you wish you can rewind the clock and go back to I wish we just didn't find a quarterback because you had a top 5 defense. Now you just out here looking crazy.
I'll tell you, another year will blow it up.
Where is the dynamite? Where's the dynamite? Blow this thing up. This is crazy. It's like one side of me, I feel bad for the Jets. You know, I get the, you know, the SpongeBob picture with Squidward is watching Patrick outside and SpongeBob having fun. It's like the Jets looking outside, looking at the Detroit Lions having fun. Like, dang, we both used to suck together. How did you guys get good and we still suck? Yeah, blow it up. There's nothing left to do at this point, like you said. At this point, you got rid of your head coach, you got rid of your GM. Anybody who's worth anything that's going to want to come into this organization is going to probably want to have their own guy as a quarterback as well. Because you're not about to stick me with Aaron Rodgers and then think my first year you're going to judge me off of what you already had. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to want their own guy. And then, like you said, he'll be 41. He'll be 41 this year, I believe. I think he turns 41 in December. So who wants to blow it up, but then keep a 41-year-old quarterback who hasn't even looked that great? It just doesn't make sense. And then he can take all his old friends with him because they can all go too. Alan Lazard, who's been injured for the last couple of weeks. Devontae, who hasn't been who he's been. I mean, we talk about that, but Devontae has bad decision-making skills. Like, I don't know. He thinks too much with his heart when he goes to these places, because the fact of the last couple of decisions that he made that he really thought coming from the Raiders, who haven't been as terrible as the Jets have been these last couple of weeks, to now the Jets and just sinking further and further. I wish he was being recorded for a quarterback season 2. I mean, a receiver season 2 now, to hear how he's talking while he's out there in New York at this point. But yeah, you got to blow it up. Like, what else is there to do? They need to blow it up and actually start from the ground up. Don't take a cheat route. Don't take an around the way type of situation. Yeah, you didn't hit on Zach Wilson. I mean, I felt like a lot of people could have told you weren't going to hit on Zach Wilson, but at this point, they need to just hope that they don't win that many games and they can kind of get in the sweepstakes in the first and second draft pick and try to get somebody else. Or are they going to be forced to do the same thing that a lot of other franchises have to do and find a bridge quarterback? Because it's not it. So, yeah, fire up the dynamite, blow the whole thing up.
Moving on. Last one to take it or leave it. Colorado coach Deion Sanders, who has his team pushing for a Big 12 title in the college football playoff appearance, says he doesn't intend on leaving despite talk about him being a possible candidate for other jobs, including in the NFL. Sanders has engineered an impressive turnaround in Colorado, sitting at 8-2, which already has doubled its win total from 2023. The Hall of Famer, who began his college coaching career at Jackson State, has been mentioned as a potential candidate for current or expected NFL coach openings, including the Dallas Cowboys, where he played from 95 to 99, won 2 Super Bowls. Former Cowboys teammate Mike Irvin and others have mentioned Sanders for the Dallas job if the team moves on from Mike McCarthy. Cool. Deion said, cool, I'm happy where I am, man. Sanders said, Tuesday, I got a kickstand down. You know what a kickstand is? That means I'm resting. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about where I am. I love it here. I truly do. Sanders received a 5-year, $29.5 million contract when he was hired at Colorado in late 2022, following a 1-11 season for the team. The 16th ranked Buffaloes, who visit Kansas on Saturday, are 2 wins away from a spot in the Big 12 title, gaming their first season back in the conference. They are led by Heisman Trophy contender Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Under Deion Sanders, both are set to depart from the NFL after the season, along with other key contributors. Colorado has had success adding transfers, and the Buffaloes are among the top candidates for quarterback Julian Lewis, ESPN's number 2 recruiting prospect in the 2025 class, who decommitted from USC on Sunday. Sanders on Tuesday also recognized several freshmen who are contributing to Colorado's success this season. Quote, it says a lot about what we plan on being and the stability of what we're going to be here for a while. Sanders said, we ain't going nowhere. We're about to get comfortable. Wilson, do you buy any word of what Mr. Sanders says?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to the NFL. And I also think I don't fully buy I'm not going anywhere in college. Like, come on, bro. If FSU comes and does what they should have did the right way, you would love nothing more to go back and be that school savior. So outside of FSU, I don't see him leaving Colorado. But I think that would be the one job while Mike Norvell's over there setting that place on fire. That would be the one place where it'd be like, all right, because he would be treated the way, he would really want to be treated. And then it'd be them also kind of openly admitting we were wrong to not give you the job earlier. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But honestly, why leave Colorado? I think they figured out a nice little system with the transfer portal, whatnot, and whatever high school recruits that you get, you make sure if it's only 3 of them, you make sure that three of the best of the best. Like if they can't start, there's no reason to go get them. We know what college sports is like. Cardell, you said all the time how hard it is. You were saying this during, the height of the pandemic, how hard it was going to be for high school recruits going forward. With the classes changing, and one of the things I know why people are talking crazy about Colorado, some of the stuff they deserve or what have you, I think one of the things they've done well is I think they understand that part of it. If you're going to go get a high school kid like Jordan Seaton, he's one of the best tackles in the country. He's played, like he's been at Colorado. He didn't back anybody up. He walked straight into a starting gig, and he hasn't moved from left tackle. If you can't walk in and take a job, there's no reason to really recruit you. You're gonna go do what you do in the transfer portal. It is what it is. Just like when somebody, when people have regimes change, they're gonna go hit the portal. Unless you got guys that could come from where you were, you're gonna hit the portal. But yeah, I take it with the exception being Florida State. Once they're done letting Norvell finish sinking that place underneath the earth.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go to the league. I think honestly, like if I was him, but again, I'm not him, so of course I don't know. But I would think you would want to get some more college experience in head coaching under your belt. Not saying that he's not experienced as it is now, but to go from Jackson State to Colorado, I will say I'm slightly interested because I feel like once his boys leave, he won't have as much as a reason to stay outside of him just really wanting to be there. And then, like Wilson said, if the FSU job becomes available, I just can't see him in Dallas. I feel like this is a storyline for another Dallas Cowboys soap opera at this point where I get it. It sounds good. But I feel like Dion knows the beast of Jerry that I ain't got time for that. To be fair, but yeah, I can't see him leaving unless something very dramatic happens. So yeah, I would leave that he's going to leave.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see a reason to leave right now, unless, like they said, the FSU job comes open, which would be, a natural progression for him at this point. Yeah, I definitely don't see him going to the NFL right now. That's a whole different world. Yeah, I don't think he even wants to deal with that at this point. But yeah, it seems like the perfect storm brewing for him to go to Florida State, with Shador and Travis Hunter, their impending departure, and Florida State in a terrible situation right now. That would be the perfect move for him. Should it play out that way? But otherwise, yeah, I don't see a reason for him to leave Colorado. He's in a good spot. He got them. He turned that thing around in a couple years. He's getting players in there, so yeah, to leave that situation for anything less than a ideal job for him just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with all y'all. It's hard to really take his word totally because of his past. It is what it is. But I do believe him as far as the NFL. I just don't think he has the temperament to deal with the diva stuff, and especially coaching for a team where the owner just won't let him have the final say. Like I can't see him. I can't see him dealing with that. You know what I mean? FSU for sure. If they come calling, I can see him going back to his alma mater, trying to reestablish that. His top players are probably gonna follow him there. You know how that goes. But with him, I'm just kind of like, it remains to be seen, because one thing he also loves is money. So that check is big enough, he will consider it. That's all I'm saying. And he's been unapologetic about saying that over the years. So we'll see how it goes. All right, moving on to rapid fire. Wilson. The NFL has no issue with its players incorporating the Trump dance into their on-field celebrations. San Francisco 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa celebrated a sack of Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield Week 10 by performing President-elect Donald Trump's signature dance that has gone viral. He was joined over the weekend by Las Vegas Raiders tight end Brock Bowers, Tennessee Titans wide receivers Calvin Ridley and Nick Westbrook, Iconi, and Detroit Lions defenders Darius Smith and Malcolm Rodriguez showing off their renditions at the big plays. Quote, from the NFL, there is no issue with the celebratory dance, such as what took place Sunday or the previous week with the 49ers on November 10th. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy told Front Office Sports, it's up to the networks to cover them as they see fit. NFL rules allow for players to celebrate as long as the celebrations are not excessive and don't feature violent or sexually suggestive acts. Players are also not allowed to wear printed hats or clothing that promote political opinions, and Bosa was fined $11,255 for wearing a Make America Great Again hat on the field after a game. However, the Trump dance is not considered a political statement by the league. Lord, Octavia, what are your thoughts on
that? I really have no words, to be fair. Like, just show me who you are, bro. Now I know. Like, I mean, everybody come out and do what you need to do so I know who is who at this point. Like, it is what it is. Like, people gonna be people. And I have told myself over and over, I'm not gonna let these people get me worked up, because ignorance is bliss and I ain't got time for it. So go out there and do that. I mean, hopefully you can stay on the field, because it's been getting a little hazy out there for my man Bosa. And they need him, to be fair. As we saw with the game this past Sunday, where Gino was able to get down there with Nick not being on the field. So he's important to his team. They're 5-5 in the division. That's all stuck together, to be fair. It can really go any way if they actually get their act together and be somewhat healthy, to be fair. But yeah, Nick, Brock, Calvin Ridley at this point, like, show me who you are, bro. It is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, dog. Just be ignorant on your own time, bro. Like, I mean, of course, the NFL doesn't see anything wrong with it. Like, why would they? But
don't kneel though.
But yeah, if if you Nick Bosa, and I'm your teammate,
problems.
Yeah, we gonna have an issue, bro. Like, yeah, like let's talk about it in the locker room with the door closed. Cause I mean, like, what's your problem? but yeah, like, it's, we know how people react to that dude in this country. Everybody gonna bow down. They can talk all the mess they want, but at the end of the day, people gonna be cowards and kiss the ring. So that is what it is. But yeah, like if you my teammate, I don't want to share a locker room with you if you supporting that type of foolishness. Point blank, period. I don't care who you are. If that's what you stand behind, then I can't stand with you, and we're gonna have a problem, and I'm gonna let it be known we have a problem, and it's gonna be a problem every time I see you. So I'm gonna make it real uncomfortable. So yeah, do your thing, and every time you do it, it's the heat gonna turn up. So keep being a dickhead. I'm gonna make you want to play for another team.
Wilson, man, what's up with your boy, man?
Hey man, he finally decided to announce that he's just like Big Bro. At least I can respect Big Bro because Big Bro stood on it the entire time and has the entire time. Like Joey planted his flag and where Joey stands, just like Pops. Nick's been kind of like Nick just jumped out there, which is why one is corny. It's comes off mad cowardly. Like even the game after where he had the hat. If I don't know if people caught it, like George, Brock, and Correndo looked at him mad crazy. Like they all kind of chuckled or whatever. They looked at him like, "Are you serious?" And then Octavia brought up the getting hurt thing. Like, look, man, things happen. Like, sir, if I were you, I'd worry about how things look next couple years. This is like the fourth time that you're hurt. I don't know if you know, but the people that employ you, they don't deal with that stuff very kindly. People get hurt a lot. So maybe you end up on the charges with Big Bro and y'all could do the dance together. I don't know. But I think my whole thing is like, if that's who you are, stand on it. Like, don't come out, be like, hey, I'm going to do the dance or whatever 4 years later, and then tuck your tail other times. Like, even after the game when he had the hat on, like, he didn't want to talk about it. And after the election, it's like, well, I thought the people spoke. Like, if you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. But if you are, stand on it. I feel like that's not too hard to ask. Stand on it. Just stand on it. Be 10 toes down wherever you want to be. Just stand on it. But they got a lot going on over there, man. I wish him the best to see if he's on the other side of the rebuild.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at the brothers on a team that didn't vote for him and how y'all can tolerate this fool. And like, you can't claim a certain thing. Like it would. I can't look. You're making me uncomfortable supporting this guy, voting for this guy, and being so openly. So I gotta make you uncomfortable in return. Like it's that serious, because we all know what this guy stands for, and how that impacts me, my family, and my community. And really, it impacts us in a negative way for no damn reason. Just because he got some ignorant ass views that we not even gonna get into right now. But y'all know where I'm going with. I'm looking at the brothers on that like how can y'all not check this? This further proves what we feel about this era and the current athlete of today. Just flat cowards, man. Like, nah, bro, it ain't Slim. It's dog. My wife asked me the other day, what if I would have voted for him? Divorce automatically. It ain't nothing to talk about. I'm at the courthouse. Can I come tonight? Is it a speed? I'm Googling. Because it ain't no way in hell I could be married to you and we can be tied together and raise our kids the way we need to raise our kids with your beliefs on that side, man. It's just no way, man. Like, it's despicable, bro. And the thing is, you're supporting. I know why you're supporting it for on the surface stuff, but have y'all forgotten all the stuff we just came out of? Just one word, COVID. That alone, man. Like, come on, man. We was stuck in the house for a minute. Like, y'all forgot about that? Because this fool put some he took out some regulations that just let a disease just run wild. And y'all voted this back in.
He gave them stimulus checks. That's what they said.
See, man. See that. So Bosa, I wouldn't even say nothing. I just wait. We in a weight room. You benching. All of a sudden, the ball just happens to slip off on your neck. I don't know how it happened, and you out for the season. It's just little things that can happen, man. You gotta be very careful Because see, it's not funny to me when it was this close to home where these fools was running up on the Capitol, dog. That's too close. And some people could have lost their lives in there for no damn reason because of the ignorance of what this dude riled up, and y'all voted that back in. Oh, I saw a lot of people. So for me, let's be honest. We know the people that stood on this before. We don't even need you to vouch for. We could pick up on the signs. You could just read the energy. You know what it is. And I'm like Maya Angelou. Show me who you are, and I'm just gonna believe you. And I'm gonna treat you accordingly. And that's how you're going to be moving forward. John Jones, loved him, UFC great fighter, and then I see him do the dance. All right, the hell with you too. Saw 50 Cent do the same thing. All right, you on that side too, the hell with you too. It's just that serious. You can't, and don't come back later to be on the side like, man, you know I was just nah. You can't play defense with this one, man. So it's just despicable, man. You know what I mean? And it's just ironic. And Ray right. Of course, the NFL will roll with it. We saw all the stuff that happened with Kaepernick and stuff like that, man. Like they don't have no standards. Like let's just call it what it is. Of course, they're gonna deal. They gonna we grew up all these years. Chad Johnson put on a Hall of Fame jacket, getting fined for harmless stuff, funny stuff. Joey Horn going underneath the goalpost, getting a phone. See what I'm saying? Players was getting fined left and right for celebrations, but this one is okay. It is what it is, man.
Not nary a fine in sight and will not be.
They get fined for socks, bro.
Not for this, though.
For socks, they get fined for. I'm just saying, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, man, I'm not even gonna say it, man. We're gonna get mad. About to turn into a Chappelle skit. What I'm about to say. Last question, man. On the NBA side, Draymond Green received a flagrant foul during the Warriors win over the Grizzlies after holding Grizzlies center Zach Edey's foot after Green fell, turned the ball over, to which Edey gathered the ball, passed out hand, looked to get out and run and over court, but Green grabbed his foot, held him, and obviously fell. Taylor Jenkins and Edey both shared the displeasure with the act post-game. Draymond responded recently. Wilson, do you have that video?
Yes, I do. Get that right back right now. He just not gonna let us go a week without peace, huh? It's not gonna happen. You sent me that, and my face just turned up. I was just like, come on, man. Like, I'm so sick of you, sir. Just please, like, just act right for a little while. Like, why are you incapable of doing so, man? Like, give me a week without saying your name.
You got Janky Taylor Jenkins, who's a softie. Bro, this game 11, you run into the media crying about a foul that, come on, bro. So guess what you just taught your 7'3" rookie? How to be emotional and run to the media talking about a foul. We big. We big men. You don't run to the media talking about a foul. You a big man. He's supposed to protect Ja Morant. You set him up to where Ja Morant gonna be protecting him. He's big enough to possibly have fooled people that he could be a little tough. And now nobody believe you. Now Joel Embiid gonna like try to put his chest into the stanchion just to see like, I think he might be a little soft. Ooh.
Yeah, they gonna try him now. Everybody gonna try.
Y'all gotta stop breeding these soft dudes, man. Stop making these guys turn out to be snitches and soft and going to tell because you are a big man.
Afterwards, he elaborated more. He said he finished the statement by saying people want him suspended because NBA ratings are low and his name creates a buzz. Ray, your thoughts on Mr. Draymond?
What we was just talking about, soft. His problem is nobody punched him in his face yet. Like, and then that's dog, you hooking somebody's ankle while they trying to run. He could have hurt that man. Somebody should have dove on him and knocked his shit loose. Plain and simple. Like, cause that's dirty, huh? And he been doing it for a minute and he ain't been checked yet. And yeah, like I'm tired of him, man. Like, seriously. And like, if Barry Davis sitting up there co-signing the foolishness, I mean, I get it. Whatever, man. But Yeah, he talking about something, you don't go crying to the media. If somebody would have kicked him in his mouth, then he'd have been crying. Like, just another fake tough guy. Like, bring back bruisers. Like, where Charles Oakley's son at? He don't play basketball. All these other people got sons hooping. Breed another one of them so we can get this type of stuff up out of here, because that's nonsense, man. Like, yeah, I know the league is not the same anymore, but at some point, something's got to give. Does he actually have to hurt somebody for a teammate to step in and do something? Because that's not how that's supposed to go down. Like, he's just walking around like he King Kong or something. But the problem remains that nobody touched him yet, and unfortunately, I don't think anybody ever will. So he's going to continue until he's not playing basketball anymore. But yeah, this is just reckless stuff. And then to make light of it, like, somebody need to flagrant to him the next game. It don't even gotta be Memphis. Just somebody to put a lid on this, and I guarantee it will stop. I guarantee it will stop, because I mean, he just, first of all, I know he not built like that because he pick and choose. So that let me know off rip that you ain't that dude. So but yeah, man, this is crazy. And like, well, I just don't know. I don't understand how this has been allowed to go on for how long you been in the league? Like, Draymond getting up there now.
In 2012, 2011 range, one of those years.
Yeah, it is. Somebody for me, please. Just one good one. Just to see where he at with it. And if that happens and he don't respond in a way that he tried to portray that he would, then case closed. But yeah, that's foolishness, man.
Wilson.
Yeah, man, I'm where Ray's at with it. Like, and he keep messing around. Edie might be the dude to try. Like, he don't, like, if Edie gets suspended or misses a couple games, Memphis is not gonna like fall apart or something. But also, some of the youngsters coming in the league, everyone's not the same, man. Stop messing with everybody. Just stop messing with everybody. Like Ray said, at some point, maybe it doesn't happen while you're in the league, but you just do entirely too much. You do entirely too much. And then the first name you want to cite is Joel.
Yeah.
You just went from unserious to unserious, sir. See how that's not a word? Just like he's not going to do anything to him. He's going to bang with Edie, and if Edie provides any resistance, we got elbow jumpers for the rest of the game. What are we talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just nonsense, man. Just please stop. Your whole beard's gray, bro. It's almost the end of the playing career. Let it go. Just go set some screens, get you some nice DHOs, hit a couple threes, which you've been doing a little bit this year. Be a leader on your team and ride off into the sunset. I don't want to hear you anymore. Please, just let it go, dude.
Octavian.
I forgot that the NBA season also means that Draymond's podcast starts again. I really want that to not be a thing. Secondly, where's Isaiah Stewart when you need him?
I was gonna bring him up
because that's the one I feel like is reckless enough to just do it at this point. Because he reckless enough to do it any other time right now. He pulling people out the air just like him. So we might need Isaiah. Like, somebody might need to write him a letter and get him in on this. But I mean, to sit there and say that somebody is crying to the media while you're on a podcast is wild. You're crying about somebody crying to the media while you're on media. Like, what are we doing? Like, and again, and then to add insult to injury to say that they want him suspended because the NBA season is boring and he's like the biggest thing to talk about. Like, sir, get over yourself. Like, please get over yourself. Like, honestly, like, every time that he like was featured on like Inside the NBA, I was like, I can't watch this. Like, I do not want him to retire and become an in studio analyst. It's going to drive me insane. But yeah, like Ray said, like somebody just gotta pop him one good time. Somebody gotta do it. And I vote for Isaiah Stewart at this point. So I might slide in his DM and be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna need you to go handle that. Because it's getting ridiculous at this point. Especially because you're doing the same thing. Like you did this last year and you got suspended for however many games. And here we are 16 games into the season and you're doing the same damn thing. Like, I can't. I'm over him. And I hope I think his podcast is on Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report needs to be investigated at this point of all these goddamn podcasts that they're giving out. They need to be investigated. So I can't take it.
I find it ironic, though. I find it ironic that he said we big men, they need to stop being so soft. But if you look at the play after the ref called the foul on him when he tripped Edie, he said he fouled me. And he's talking about Janet Jackson trying to strip him from behind, and he dribbled, lost his balance, and fell. Isn't that soft to be talking about he fouled me and stuff like that from that weak-ass play? Like, dog, this dude is just allergic to accountability, man. It's old, man. It's just old, man. And the thing is, I'll tell you the reason why he don't mess with guys like Isaiah Stewart on there, because it's he picks and chooses, like Ray said. It's sucker stuff. That's sucker stuff. You know what I mean? He knows exactly who to test and who not to. And the overwhelmingly majority are like big, tall, European type, international type bigs. They're just playing basketball and stuff. Like Rudy. Like my man Nurkic. Sabonis, when he stepped on his chest. Dog, you have to understand, you have a whole history. Like, your benefit of the doubt been on. Like, dog, anything of Draymond hit somebody, I believe it. I only got to see it. Like, we believe it. He did some dirty, I believe it. Even if you like, I didn't do it. Nah, bro. You don't have no benefit of the doubt no more. Even the Jordan Poole stuff, bro, like, that was cowardly. But you picking and choosing, so it's just like, I mean, dog, it's just old, man. And the thing is, everybody know Edie's 7'3", 7'4". Those type of bigs, you don't play with the lower limbs and stuff like that, because it could be something chronic. All it takes, he fall wrong and twist his ankle, foot, knee or something. Now, I promise the career is done. And he on the Bill Walton type of deal, or Sam Bowie type of deal, or Greg Oden. Like, you don't play with that, man. Because you wouldn't want, like, what if somebody did that to Steph? See, it'd be real vicious. Like, in the old days, they would get you and then get your star player. Like, Steph would have to take that. Like, when Isaiah Thomas was cooking Stockton and stuff, because he was mad he got denied on the Dream Team, what Karl Malone do? Elbow. Busting a wide, like 40 stitches. We're gonna end all this right now. So we gotta cut all this stuff out, man. It's just old, man. It's just like, damn, dog. And you not being an enforcer, you doing dirty stuff. Force is like a hard foul, no layups or something. I get that. Or somebody get out of line, now we're gonna check all that right now. You ain't messing with stuff. Play basketball. That's an enforcer. You just doing dirty shit. Because you know you can get away with it, because this era, these dudes are not trying to fight. And I don't want to hear about we making too much damn money. That means I got enough money to cover the fine. I could cover my expenses still. So I'm gonna fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit just crazy, bro. I'm like, man, come on, bro. And then you talking about, yeah, you make your big man look soft and stuff like that. No, you're not. Because, see, now, the next time, I'm pretty sure Ja going to make sure he play, and he going to amp that up. And you like, damn, Ja got to protect you. But if you were going like you say you are, it shouldn't even matter who's protecting who. You just take on all comers, right? It's just funny, man. These dudes, man. Go ahead. Was this on you?
I just need some of these youngsters to keep being around some of these older folks, because, boy, the ones of y'all that ain't, y'all are trying my patience. I can't do it. And then some of y'all that came in with y'all's best friend and y'all's walking deity, y'all need to leave expeditiously. Just leave together. When he go with him. If that is the church that you follow, leave when he leaves. Please. Don't collect your things. Just go. You too old for all this. Like every one of y'all said, you're not even an equal opportunity type dude like that. Stop it. Never have been. Just stop, dude. Just it's harmless. Please stop.
And you gonna create more buzz? Your name gotta be in the what?
Man.
They're not tuning in the Warriors to see you, bro. They watch your stuff. When Steph leaves, unless they got a nice youngin, it's over for the Warriors too for a while. That's how it goes. You ain't Dennis Rodman, bro. Like, chill out, man. Like, this dude, go ahead, man.
The delusion is crazy, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Like my man, really, like his name's gonna pop up when people say words like your name is like the first association. But like, come on, man, just stop. Like, we think it's Steph, and then we'll think about the other guy who shot the lights out the ball, and then you know what I'm saying, eventually, like the three. But stop. We appreciate y'all for tuning in this week, man. We look forward to talking with y'all next week. Hopefully, Draymond does not make the list of topics, although I will not doubt him because, as Octavia said, I forgot about that part of the NBA season. Once that's back, so is his pod. I need Bleacher Report to stop him. I need a cease and desist for him, Micah Parsons, and the rest of this crew that doesn't do anything but talk. Please stop.
Stop handing them.
Like, please stop. Like, y'all don't even do anything anymore. Podcast. Steph out here cooking, Buddy Hield doing stuff. You hit a couple threes this year, and now you talking crazy. Go away. Just go away. We'll see y'all next week.